In this video, I'm going to show you how SEO can take time, but if you're patient, you will be rewarded handsomely with a 10x return or possibly even much, much more. If you don't know who I am, I'm Miko Martinez. I've been in the SEO industry for over 6 years now. I worked on over 200 projects and I've helped scale some of them to over 7 figures in annual revenue. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 projects that we've worked on in the past and how SEO took some time to really ramp up, but we were rewarded handsomely. And this last one is a really interesting story of a project we worked on last year, like a client project we worked on last year. And I hope you can watch this video from start to finish and hear that story because it's a really interesting story and I think it's a really good lesson to learn. And if you can't watch a short video about SEO, then SEO is probably not for you because, as I mentioned earlier, SEO does require patience, right? So yeah, let's get to the video. So this is the first project that I want to show you guys. It's how we scaled this beauty brand from 1,000 to over 370,000 in monthly revenue with SEO. And as you can see here, in that 17 months, we only spent $31,937.60. That's less than $2,000 a month for 17 months. And in month 17, we had $370,000 in revenue on month 17 alone. So you can see how crazy the ROI was on this project. But I want to show you the journey it took to get there, right? Because it didn't get to that $370,000 immediately, right? We started really slow and we even had a huge scare here for 2 weeks where the algorithm just threw all our rankings away for like 2 weeks. But we eventually got there, right? Because again, SEO can take time, but if you're patient, you will get rewarded sometimes with a huge ROI like this, in month 17 alone, $370,000 in revenue. But yeah, we were only spending less than $2,000 a month for 17 months. And on month 17 alone, we had $370,000 shipped items revenue. So you can see how crazy the ROI on SEO is if you stick to it for a long, long time, right? Here's another project that we worked on. This is another even better example because this project, we were actually doing monthly reports on what we were doing every month. And we were doing this without knowing that the project would end up being a success, right? But in the end, we went from complete zero. We started this brand from scratch to over 140K in monthly revenue with SEO. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy to get there, right? If you look at each of these months, you'll see us spending thousands of dollars every month without getting a return for 6 months, right? You can see here. And we go through a lot of detail on exactly what we did. That's why this case study is so good because we go over exactly what we did, how many articles we published, how many links we built, what the traffic was that month and what the earnings were that month. So first month, we spent 3,300. Earnings, 0. No traffic, no earnings. Month 2, we spent 1,800. Earnings, still 0. And you can scroll all the way down to month 6, and you'll see that, in month 6 here, we have already spent $11,000 and we only made $110 back, right? On month 6, it was starting to get better. We had $2,600 in revenue in month 6, but that was only $110 in earnings because, again, this is an affiliate marketing project. We didn't own any of the products we sold. We didn't manufacture any of the products we sold. We were only getting an affiliate commission. But yeah, in the last 6 months, we spent $11,000 and we got $110 back. And that's because we started this brand from scratch. And when you're starting brands from scratch, you have to fill all those content gaps, all those link gaps, and it can take time, right? It'll take time to fill those gaps and it'll take time for the search engine to crawl your website and reevaluate your websites for rankings. But if you can stick to it, month 7, things start to get better. It's 15,000 in shipped revenue. Month 8, 20,000. Month 9, 42,000. Month 10, all the way to month 13, where we finally hit 140K in revenue, right? You can see how crazy the return on SEO is if you can just really stick through this period of pain, right? This is how many months of investing thousands of dollars a month without seeing the return. But if you can stick to it, if you don't give up like most people, you get rewarded with the ROI like this. And the ROI is insane because of the fact that a lot of people quit at month 3, at month 6. They don't ride it out. They don't stick with it for the long haul. And if you stick with it for the long haul, that's how you get these crazy 10x or more returns, right? And that brings me to the last example, which is a really interesting story because this is a brand we worked with last year, right? And we started right as the year started in January, and you know, for the first 3 months we barely saw any results, as you can see here. From January to end of March, it's pretty much flat. And the brand owner, she trusted us. But at the end of the 3rd month, she was like, I can't continue doing this. I can't keep investing in SEO without seeing a return, which is completely understandable, right? Imagine investing $3,000, $3,500 every month for 3 months and you don't really see any results. So at the end of the 3rd month, we agreed, okay, let's take a pause and reevaluate after 3 months, because we told her like SEO can take time. We showed her some of our older case studies of SEO taking time and the ROI, the crazy ROI you can get when you are patient. And she was like, okay, let's reevaluate in 3 months. So yeah, she invested in SEO for 3 months, and then we took a pause, which I highly don't recommend, by the way, because the thing with SEO is that if you take a pause, it looks super unnatural. It's really weird, right? Where for 3 months you're publishing a ton of content, building a bunch of backlinks, and then for the next 3 months it just complete stop. Like the search engine will find that super weird, right? Super unnatural. But that's what we end up doing here because, again, like I don't blame her. Like it's difficult to invest $3,500 a month for 3 months, every month for 3 months, and not see a return, right? Like you can see here that it's pretty flat. So for the next 3 months, we did nothing. We took a pause, and then we reevaluated in June. And that's when things started getting better, right? You can see here that it's like around a 50 to 100% increase in clicks and a higher increase in impressions. And that gave her the confidence to, okay, maybe this SEO thing is kind of working. And she decided to continue again from July to the end of September. She wanted to do another 3 month sprint, and we resumed work, right? And we did our thing again, content, backlinks, and here, that's when you start seeing like, okay, this SEO thing is actually working. At the end of September, we're doing 360 clicks and nearly 20,000 impressions compared to 67 clicks and 2,800 impressions at the start of the year. Now SEO is working, right? But the thing is, she was still a little skeptical, and she wasn't skeptical. She just didn't want to continue to keep using her budget on SEO. And we, for some reason, ended up taking a pause again, which I highly advise her not to, because Q4 is super important for her brand. She makes most of her money in Q4. And so we told her, like, okay, we can take a pause, but before we take a pause, let us make sure that your SEO is ready for Q4. Let's publish content for a lot of seasonal keywords so that you can rank for these keywords when the time comes. And lo and behold, Q4, her brand absolutely killed it in terms of SEO. We had a high on a week before Christmas of 2,215 clicks, right? Right before Christmas, because we were ranking for a Christmas related keyword. I think that keyword was doing 500 clicks a day itself. So 25% of this is that one Christmas keyword alone, which, probably, I can't share revenue data because this is B2B, but you can imagine that, but you can imagine how much revenue they made because each of their sales was actually a fourth, like, was a four-figure package deal. So yeah, they crushed it in Q4, despite us not actually doing any SEO work. We went 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, and 3 months off in Q4, where it was so important. But because of the work we did in preparation for Q4, they were able to reap the rewards of SEO in Q4. But this is a perfect example of, like how SEO can take time, right? Like for 3 months, you don't see any results. But if you can, handle that pain, if you can get through that pain, that initial pain in the first 3, possibly to 6 months, you can see how you will be rewarded in the long run, right? This 2,200 clicks is a lot compared to the 67 clicks they had in the start of the year. It's like nearly a 20x, more than a 20x, right? And you will only be rewarded with these results if you can stick to it for more than 3 to 6 months, right? Like these 3 to 6 months are nothing compared to what happens in month 9, in month 12, and then beyond. And you can only reap these rewards if you can get through this initial pain period that a lot of brands will face. Because yes, for more established brands you can see results right away because they already have a strong backlink profile, but for a lot of brands you will have to go through this initial pain period, but it's worth it because the ROI in the long run is really crazy. And the reason it's crazy is because most people quit here, right? They don't stick they don't stick with it. And because most people quit and they don't stick with it, the competition becomes much less and less the longer you stick with it. And that's why, the brands that stick with it for the long term are the ones that really reap these huge 10x, 20x, 100x, even sometimes ROIs from SEO. And this just compounds, like the year after this is going to get better and better and better as you rank for more keywords, as you drive more revenue. And this is like consistent revenue too, it's month after month, consistent revenue that you don't have to, spend on ads. You spend like what, 3 to 3.5K on SEO every month, and you get this huge return every month, right? It basically sets your brand up for success in the long term. So yeah, I hope these 3 examples give you the motivation. Like if you're investing in SEO, I hope these 3 examples give you the motivation to stick through it. As long as your process is good, it's not about if you'll get results, but more of when. And again, the caveat there is if your process is good, right? Because if you're not doing the right things, you probably will be stuck here for a very, very long time. But if you know you're doing the right things, you'll eventually get past that pain point and get to this point where your your revenue, your profit from SEO is covering your costs quite easily, and yeah, you're just reaping the benefits of the pain you had to feel for the first 3 to 6 months. And if you want to learn how to do SEO like this, then join our Shopify SEO Mastermind. There's a link in the description. And if you want us to handle your SEO for you, because it's so important to work with the right SEO agency. It's so important because every SEO agency will tell you that it'll take time, but if they're not doing the right thing, you're basically stuck here the whole time. So it's very important to pick the right SEO agency to work with. Good case studies, good track record. And yeah, so if you want to work with us, you can apply to work with us. There's a link in the description. And if you're a good fit to work with us, we'll hop on a call. And on this call, there's no obligation to work with us. So at least you end up with a free SEO consultation. and an SEO action plan that you can implement on your own. So yeah, that's it for now. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this was insightful. Thanks for listening. Cheers.